Welcome to the Elevated Chat Room. It's Dwayne Malone, and right here, it's Mr. Lonzo Jones, your host. We have some special guests. Lonzo, we'll let you take over and introduce our guests. Let's go.
All right, welcome back to the Elevated Chat Room. We got special guests with us tonight, but first, before we get deep into that, let me tell you what the topic is. The topic for tonight is love and business, how to thrive together. Let me say that one more time. Love and business, how to thrive together. We got Demetrice and Megan Phillips.
Let's go.
Demetrice is a project controller SSOE at the SSOE group, correct?
Correct.
All right. And then we got Miss Megan Phillips. She is a pharmacist. She be dealing. And she's also the owner of Shows Custom Creation.
Yeah.
Now everybody knows about Shows Custom Creations.
Wow.
Good stuff there. Good stuff. She does great work. But let me let them introduce themselves in more detail. Take it over.
Like you said, I'm Demetrice Phillips, born and raised in Muscle Shoals. Graduated from Auburn University back in 2006. Left several times throughout my career, but ended up back home.
Sweet.
Raised a family. So here we are.
Back home.
Yeah.
Back home. Go ahead, Megan. Tell them who you are. Let them know a little something more about you.
Well, I'm Megan Phillips. Demetrice and I have been married almost 11 years now.
Yeah.
Be 11 years in July. And I was also born and raised in the Shoals. I went to school at Auburn University, pharmacy school there. I graduated in 2011 and moved back home. And I've worked in various arenas throughout the Shoals area as far as pharmacy. And we have 2 kids, a 9-year-old boy and a 4-year-old girl. And like you said earlier, we co-own Shoals Custom Creations. We started that about a year ago.
It's only been a year?
Only been a year.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. It seems like y'all been around longer than that.
Crazy.
Right.
Crazy. Blew up.
So both of y'all went to Auburn?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all both from the Shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm assuming y'all knew each other before you went to Auburn.
We didn't
Did not.
actually.
Hold up.
He went to school he's like way older than me.
2 years. 2 years.
And he went
Sugar
to
daddy.
school he went to school at Muscle Shoals. I went to school out in the county, and so we did not know each other, and we met through some mutual friends at Auburn. And then he graduated, and then I was there, of course, quite a bit longer because I went to pharmacy school.
Gotcha.
And he actually hit me up on Facebook one day, so Facebook hooked us up.
Wow. But you would have thought y'all would have known each other like
We did, like, just casual.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So,
We had some mutual friends, like friend groups at Auburn.
no, I'm talking about before.
Oh.
So y'all never crossed paths?
No.
Never.
No.
Wow. So that's pretty interesting right there. So it's almost like it was destined.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
literally you had to go all the way to Auburn
Right.
to meet your spouse.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But that's what's up. So let's go ahead and get into this interview. I want to know what unique challenges and benefits have you guys faced as an interracial couple in life and in business? I know that's kind of a heavy question, but share some experiences, some benefits, some setbacks that may have happened just because of the fact that you guys decided to,
Well, we talked about this a little bit earlier, and I guess, like I said, we've been married for 11 years now. And in the beginning, when we first got married or first started dating, I feel like 11 years doesn't seem like a long time, but things have changed a lot in 11 years as far as it being more accepted, more common, more culturally, accepted in that sense. And when we first started dating and when we were talking about getting married and engaged, there were several people, within our extended families. I mean, our families were great. My family loved Demetrice, his family loved me, but there's always going to be people that have something to say. I feel like it was more, the older generation, that, and on both sides, the black side and the white side. And it was more of, I think most comments that we got weren't necessarily like, I don't believe in this. I don't believe y'all should get married because, you're a different race. But most of the comments were, oh, well, don't you think this is going to cause adversity? Don't you think people are going to have something to say? Have you thought about, raising interracial kids? Are they going to, face adversity for being interracial? Are they going to have an identity crisis because they don't know if they're black or they're white? It was more, challenges and comments and like that. But, it really didn't matter to us. And we rose above that and thrived. And I don't, as far as our business, I don't really think that it's affected our business at all. I think that it may actually help our business because, he can tell me, oh yeah, and in this community, this is popular, and okay, with my, I don't want to say my people, but with my people, like, this is popular, and especially being male and female, we get those sides of the thing too. Like he can tell me, oh yeah, like a guy's not going to wear that, or that's too girly, or things like that. So as far as owning the business together, I don't think race is really or the interracial marriage has really impacted that at all. There's always going to be people that have something to say, or, and we talked about it and we said, they may not be saying things, they may be saying things behind our back that we don't know about, but we just haven't let us affect that at all. And we've thrived, and anything that has been said, we've just tried not to let us affect us at all.
Yeah, definitely. Like she said, they haven't said anything to our face, so so it is what it is. So everybody's going to talk about. Everybody's going to have something to say at the end of the day. So I just keep pushing, man.
That's what's up. So you said that you started your business back last year. So you talking 2023?
2023, yeah.
Okay, so like you said, over the past 11 years, things have changed a whole lot. So that's good as far as it's not, really affecting the business in a negative way. So that's awesome. Have y'all ever been out on the town? I had a friend. Okay, so I had a friend of mine that she was from Oregon, and she transferred to Jacksonville State. And this was back like about 15, 17 years ago. And she transfers into Jacksonville State, and she was like, man, this is a culture shock, right? Mm-hmm. And she was just talking about how it was so weird. Like, we were just friends, like, and she was like biracial or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we would go like out to eat or whatever. And she was like, do you hear people talking? I'm like, we're not even dating, but it's like, But so have y'all ever been out to eat and you just like, you hear people say stuff, or y'all never experienced that, or y'all just keep it moving? Like, have y'all ever experienced that?
She does. Okay. Like, she'll see it, but I really just have my blinders on. Yeah. Just because that's how I've just been. I kind of just grew up. You know what I mean? Being a black male, we're going to face that anyway. So I kind of have my blinders on, but she'll say, hey, you seen such and such looking over here? No, I'm paying attention to my plate.
Like, those people are staring, what are they staring at? Or, they're not staring at this, all white family beside us. And I don't, and I'm like, well, maybe it's just me being paranoid, but it rarely happens, but when it does, I guess just me being on guard, protecting my family. Yeah. And he's like, oh, don't worry about it. And I've had people say things to me. I've actually had a couple of comments of people say, well, like before we started taping, you said Bryce, our son, he looks just like me, so there's no denying him. But our daughter, she looks very much so like his family. Okay. And I've had people be like, oh, that's your daughter? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, oh, okay. And I had somebody say one time, like, oh, I thought she was just maybe your niece or a friend or something. I'm like, no, she's my daughter. I'm like, I don't exactly know what you mean by that, but you have to let it go. You can't let it affect you like that, because and things like that. I don't try to cause confrontation. I don't try to really dig deep into it. Now, maybe, when I was younger, I may have, but now, I'm just like, let it go. Don't make it a big deal. As long as you're not physically threatening or harming my children, or my husband, like, it's not it's not anything to worry about in my eyes.
Yeah, that's my biggest thing. Just as long as you're not in my personal space, you can say whatever you want to outside of that. You can look all you want to.
Because my thing is like, of course, I mean, people look no matter what, if you have like a certain like presence, a certain confidence, a certain look, people are gonna look anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it may not necessarily always be because you guys are interracial couple. Because like you said, 2024, I mean, it's pretty common now.
Yeah.
You know, so let's I would say, man, you guys have a uniqueness about yourselves because, like you said, you get to view things like from all different angles, you know, and it can be helpful, you know, and sometimes it can be harmful if you know what I'm saying, if you're not aware, you know what I'm saying, if you're not sensitive to other people's culture. But that's in any relationship, because even if with me and my wife, like, you know, she grew up different than what I grew up.
Right.
You know, so it's still gonna be some cultural boundaries and issues with that. So I'm just glad that everything's working out for you guys. You guys are thriving. You guys look good together.
Absolutely.
y'all act like y'all love each other.
Yeah.
We do.
We've been in it for a while. You know? That's
But
ride or die.
It's definitely opened my eyes being married, being in a interracial marriage is definitely way different than being in an interracial relationship, in the sense that, you know, now we're married, we're committed, and I really try to see things from his point of view. Like I even asked you the other day, like, how does that make you feel? Like, or if there's issues like political issues or, things that come up in the news or things that face, and I'm like, tell me how you feel about that from your perspective, because, I may see it one way, but I want to hear from your perspective how that made you feel, how you see that, what do you see the issue as, and that helps me in raising our kids, they're gonna have to see it both ways when issues arise like that. So I really try, and I think I do a fairly good job of how does that make you as a Black man? How do you see what do you see the issue as this? How does help me understand it so that number one, I can support you. Yeah. So that number two, if somebody that is, talking about it, and I'm like, well, let me think about it from this perspective, because I have somebody firsthand that I can ask about, like, think about it, how it would feel if you were a Black man or a Black woman in this situation, and you could see things a little bit differently. Yeah.
It's basically it's teaching you to be more open-minded, both of you guys, and even your circle. And it makes your circle have to be, if they want to be in your circle, to be open-minded, to be respectful, to be understanding, and to be willing to meet new people and accept people are different, and people are gonna, it's not like if I didn't like it, I'm not gonna change them between the two of y'all. Y'all still gonna be married, so you might as well join the party,
That's true.
So, but that's what's up. So let's switch over and start talking about the business. So what inspired you all to form the LLC, and what were the initial steps and costs? Like, was it super expensive to get the LLC? Like, how to give us that?
Well, when we wanted to start the business, actually it was kind of just I don't want to say random. It wasn't random, but it was like, I had stepped back a little bit from the hours and jobs that I was working in pharmacy, because I wanted to be my kids were growing up, and I wanted to be able to have more time at home with them, be flexible as far as when I was working and stuff. And I was like, well, let's start a business. And we actually started with a different business. And it was more of a service type business. And, I was like, I'm going to start, it's funny because I was like, I'm buying all these shirts for my kids, or all this apparel and stuff for my kids, and my kids are getting into sports and they're going to school, and every time you turn around, you're needing, or they're wanting a shirt, or they're needing a shirt for something. And I was like, I'm just going to start making these. I did all the research and everything, and, trial and error. And I was like, well, I'm making these. I'm just going to post them on there on Facebook and see if anybody else wants one. And I'm telling you, it blew up. Like, it blew up. And I was like, I cannot believe that people actually want to buy this stuff from me, And so we were like maybe just a few weeks in, and it was like popping off. And Demetrice, I was like, we've really got to do this the right way. Like if this is going to be a business, if this is actually going to go somewhere, like we need to get all the legal stuff, together. And I want to say it's like $200 to file with the state for an LLC. And that really is the only upfront cost as far as filing, making your name, reserving your name and then filing the LLC. There's a little bit of paperwork, but I'm not a business person. I didn't go to school for that. So I'm a lawyer. So it's very straightforward to file with the state. And then, you can literally go to IRS.gov and there's all the information you need on there to, know what you've got to do to file for your federal tax number and everything else, you need to file. There's tons of resources, and I'll put a plug out there for the UNA actually has a small business association network, and it's free to any business owner. I'm sorry, I don't have all the details of the web, but you can literally go to UNA's University of North Alabama's website, and you can click around on there, and you'll find where you can go to get that resource. There's several people over there that run that program, and it's like I said, it's completely free.
Never even heard of it.
They will guide you. I went in and met with them several times. They will guide you through every single thing that you need. They'll give you, they're not tax lawyers or anything, but they'll, say, okay, make sure that you filed this, make sure that you have this in place, to start your business. They do marketing. It's a phenomenal resource in the area. It's actually a state, but there's different programs, in local areas, and UNA has one. So if anybody's listening, they already have a business, even if your business already established or it's something that you're looking into, that's a great resource. And I just reiterate that it's completely free. They get grant
free
funding from the state to do that. So that's a great resource. But anyway, I went through there, met with them, made sure we had everything set up, opened a bank account, that kind of thing. So besides the cost of goods sold, your equipment, just business in general, but just to form the LLC was $200. And then there's pretty much everything else is free as far as filing with federal, state, and, there's tons of resources out there for small businesses, that are free then. So it's really not a huge upfront cost, in that aspect. And then we kind of just started small. We do apparel. So I started with one heat press and a vinyl cutting.
Doing them at the house.
Yeah, doing them at our house, and a vinyl cutting machine. And, and then as I made money, there probably for 3, 4, maybe even 6 months, I was putting all my profit that I was making back into my business. And, buying more equipment, so that I can offer more services to people, more types of apparel. And so, I did that for a while, and it was very beneficial because now I have a wide variety of things that I can offer to people. I did it that way.
So I've never heard of that UNA small business program. That's pretty sweet. So everything they do is free? Marketing, they'll market your business?
Well, they'll put it on, when I say market, they'll share it on their Facebook page. You're in a registry. So, it's not
that's great though.
Going out in the community. But it's, a lot of people, look at that stuff and especially if you're interested in doing government work, which that's a whole lengthy, big year-long process, but you're in a registry. If somebody's just hey, I don't know anybody in Muscle Shoals that makes shirts, let me go on here, which there's a ton of us, but you just go on there, let me look it up. Okay, yeah, there's my name, there's their contact information, let me contact them.
Sweet. So Demetrice, when all this was happening, when she said she wanted to start making shirts, what was your initial thoughts, and where were you at on that?
Oh, 100% supportive.
Okay.
And as long as I've known her, she's been a hustler.
Okay.
She's matched my hustle. She's always had a side
Okay.
hustle. She was selling Mary Kay Cosmetics when we met back in the day.
Okay.
They probably don't even know what that is.
Oh, I know. Well, they may not know. I used to sell Avon, so I already know.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
in college. Yeah.
Look it up.
Mary Kay. Is that the
But,
pink Cadillac?
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever she has ideas like that, I never say no because I know her work ethic and I know how intelligent she is. I know whatever she does, she's gonna put her all into it.
Yeah.
So it was automatically a yes. So let's go. What do we need to do?
Gotcha.
So.
I remember I was talking to my wife. It was probably, I don't know how many months ago it was. Probably about 4 or 5 months ago. And I was like, Megan, them, they killing these shirts and cups and all this kind of stuff with a business. And I was like, she gonna have to cut back on her hours as a pharmacist. And I think I like ran into y'all either at football practice or somewhere we was at, and I was talking to y'all.
Yeah.
I was like, I was like, so Megan, when you plan on, going part-time? Because she's like, I already have. I was like, I told my wife.
Yeah.
I was like, y'all already killing it.
And that kind of was the goal. I mean, honestly, in the beginning, because I mean, I was this has been a while ago, but I was traveling, like 45 minutes to an hour each way every day. And it was okay when the kids were little because they weren't involved. It was just take them to daycare, pick them up, but now with them being involved in so much sports and activities, it's like, to be present in their lives and, not have to worry about, who's going to take them to practice, who's going to pick them up. That was kind of the goal, was to I want to back down in that aspect. Not that I don't love my job as a pharmacist, I absolutely do, but just to be a little bit more flexible. And that is one of the biggest, pros of owning your own business is because for the most part, unless you're like a brick and mortar and you've got to be there so and so hours, you can be fairly flexible with your hours. And so I do work a lot, but I will say that it's, I kind of work around their schedule. Like I may be working at 7, 8 o'clock at night, or I may go in at 6 o'clock in the morning, or I may go in on the weekend, or I go after church and work sometimes, but it's all
pick and choose.
Right. It's, I'm there for them when they need me.
Awesome.
And whether your business partner is your spouse or anybody, I mean, you've got to be on the same page.
Yes.
Because I told him, when we started this, I was like, I don't want you to get upset when I say, hey, I've got to go, I've got to order, I've got to finish, and I need you to watch the kids, or I need, and I mean, he's wonderful in that aspect. He's like, yeah, whatever you need. I don't want to say in the back of his mind, he's probably like, oh Lord, here we go again.
No.
But he's great. But like I said, whether it's your spouse or anybody, you have to be on the same page and have your priorities aligned, so that you can work together and get things done. But also have a personal life outside of your business.
Yeah. Okay.
So I like what you said. It's important to establish that at the beginning,
right?
The store.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Yeah. And we did have that conversation. I was like, the goal is to be more flexible, but that may mean I'm working late or I'm going in early or, because I want, the goal is for us to be there present in our kids' lives. So that may mean sacrifices in other areas, to be there for them. But we did have that conversation, in the very beginning before we even took the leap, and he was down for it.
Always.
Well, that's super important. Like Dwayne was saying, like to have everything out on the table before. Hey, look, let's weigh all the pros,
right?
The cons. What's our goal? Is like you say, is it about making an X amount of dollars? Is it about freeing up time? Is it a combination of both?
Right.
Why are we doing this? So is like you said, you did all the research. So you knew what the market was like.
Right.
And it's funny because you would think it'd be saturated.
There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of people, out there that make shirts, and I know a lot of people, friends even, that do a phenomenal job at it. But it's a hot commodity.
Yeah.
Everybody needs a shirt for something.
Yeah, and you would think, like I said, it's saturated. Like even in other like business, like I'll drive around, I'll see like 15 to 20 different electrician
Right.
businesses is locally owned. Like I'm like, how are y'all all making money?
Yeah.
It's like 40 of y'all.
Mhm.
But you, like I said, on the outside looking in, you think like, oh man, I don't want to get into that. But then, like you said, take a leap of faith, do your
Right.
research, you get in there,
Yeah.
boom.
And so to me, I feel like it's the uniqueness of what you bring yourself to
Mhm.
the table. You got
True.
what I'm saying?
Right.
Because whether we want to acknowledge it or not, customer service nowadays is whack.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
That's what sets you
Yeah.
apart.
so
Yeah.
I'm saying, so like to be able to bring all that you bring to the table, because I mean, we're sitting here listening to you all right now, and I'm sure the audience will be able to see it as well, like to hear that passion and it's family oriented
Right.
and these different things that you bring to the table. It makes someone want to support you all.
Yeah.
Right.
You can continue to thrive.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, if y'all are like if you met the Phillips, you know they're like solid people. So it's like, okay, they're nice. You know what I'm saying? He's coaching kids. She's giving back to the community. Why wouldn't I want to support?
Right.
You know, it's like that's what I was telling Dwayne. I was like, man, we got to get t-shirts made for our Jump Fest.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I text you and I was like, hey, we got to get t-shirts made. Dwayne normally gets pretty good price. He's like, whatever it is, we'll beat it. I was like, well, bet. But that's what I'm saying. Like when you guys continue to reach out to the community and bless the community is gonna, in return, is automatically gonna flow back to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what's so
I
amazing
think-
about it.
I think you probably may ask this question later on.
Go ahead and answer
So going back to when we were talking about starting this business and why we wanted to do it, you know, obviously flexibility and having time with our kids was one thing, but one of my biggest things was giving back to the community. And, you know, I see it as, yes, it's a business, but it's also a ministry in my sense, because you know, obviously I'm not perfect. Obviously, sometimes we get a little bit over our heads or, you know, because I'm so busy, but, you know, it's always been on my heart and a calling of mine to start a nonprofit for children.
Okay.
And I've told him about it. And I said, I don't know if that's going to be in 10 years. I don't know if that's going to be in 20 years. I said, I don't know if it's going to be me, myself. I don't know if it's going to be partnering with somebody. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow. God's going to say, hey, this is what I want you to do. But one thing that I was adamant about was that, of course, you got to make money to keep the doors open,
Right.
you know, and because I did back down on my job, of course, I need some of that personal income. But I've always want to give back to the community. I always want to find ways to give, you know, I mean, to anybody that I can, but specifically to children. You know, there's tons of opportunities, and we give through our church and to foreign missions.
The Rescue Me Project.
We do.
Thank
we
you
do.
all so
give.
much
You're
for that.
welcome.
Absolutely.
But I've always, there's so much need that I think that people look past just in our own backyard,
Mhm.
you know, and, you know, that need may be financial. It may be somebody needs food on their plate, somebody needs clothes on their back, or it may just need, hey, somebody needs a father figure,
Yes,
or
sir.
somebody
Yes,
needs,
ma'am.
you know, they're going through a hard time and they need somebody to talk to. And that's why I love what you guys do here, because you offer all of that for kids who may have been looked over, you know, and that's why it was a no-brainer for me to support you guys through my business. And I, you know, hope that I can just continue to give more, you know, over time. But that's always been a passion of mine. And I said, you know, God's given me the resources. He's given me the financial ability to do so. And, you know, I'm just going to let him lead me and show me where he wants me to give those resources, where he wants me to do what he wants me to do with it. So that was also, you know, top priority when starting this business, and continues to be a priority.
And you can tell, you can definitely tell, because like we got all these all-star teams coming around, so we asking for money and everything. It's like Shows Custom Creations donated to both. It was
Right.
like no hesitation. It was like, how many checks can I write? And I'm like, hey, I ain't trying to, because we're friends, you know, you never want to kind of
Right.
cross that boundary, you know. So it's like, I was like, hey, thank you.
Yeah. And I mean, people may think, oh, you're giving to an all-star team, that's not charity. But, you don't know who's playing on these teams. You don't know what their home life is like. You don't know, can their parents afford it? Maybe this is what's keeping them out of trouble. I mean, that may be the case. It may not be the case, but I just give as I can, and I just trust and pray that God will use that, for good. And I love it. I love giving back. It's that, I mean, obviously, your name goes on banners and people tell you thank you, and that's great. And most of the time you get that reciprocated because people will come and use your business. But at the same time, and it's good marketing, but at the same time, that's, for me, that's not really what it's about. It's about giving back.
Mm-hmm. I believe that's important too. Anytime you have businesses that give back and support the community, it make you want to give them first choice when
Right.
it comes to purchasing anything.
It's favoring.
Yeah,
It's
and they're good stewards.
yeah.
Mhm.
They're putting it back into those that need it and so on. So I feel like that's important.
Yeah.
I know a lot of. Go ahead.
I think that Lord gives us these blessings to give back,
Right.
not to hoard it,
Right.
and to flash it and say I got it.
Right.
It's to give.
Yeah.
You
I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, like, yeah, we got to keep food on our table and we got to pay our bills, but, God has blessed us. I mean, yes, we've worked hard for everything that we have, but God has blessed us immensely more than we deserve, and we want to give that back. And, I always go back to whom much is given, much is required. So, God has given us a lot, and I was like, help, at the end of the day, it's not ours, it's His.
Mhm.
That's my belief. And so, I just pray that we can use our resources financially, physically, and, intellect, every resource that God has given us to make an impact for the good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's awesome, man. That's good stuff. You mentioned about giving to people in your own backyard, because sometimes we get blinded by the big brands.
Right.
And once me and Dwayne and a couple of the people we formed the Rescue Me Project, it was like, hey, people ask me to donate to like Red Cross and some of these big names. I'd be like, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I donate to where I know where the money is going, what the money is doing. I don't know what you guys, and you hear all these different things.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I know what the money's doing here.
Right.
So I'm tied here.
I mean, those things are important. Obviously, I mean, the Red Cross steps in. Just you said that as an example.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's those big organizations and stuff that they're very important. And don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking international missions at all, because
Right.
that's absolutely a need. But we can't turn our eyes blind to, like I said, what is right in our backyard.
Yeah.
I mean, you may live in an affluent neighborhood and you may have a nice house and drive a nice car, but you can probably drive a mile down the road and see somebody who's may not even have their lights on, and I see it a lot. The job that I have as a pharmacist, one of my jobs, we would go out into the community and we actually visit people in patients' homes because we would administer medications there. And that just really opened my eyes to not everybody's living like I am, and there's people who literally like don't have electricity, like don't have running water, like don't have food in their fridge because they can't afford it, and they may have 2 or 3 kids living in that environment, and they're sending, they don't have shoes on their feet, or, I mean, it's just, you cannot turn a blind eye and be naive to think that there are people that are really that in need in your own community.
Yeah. And I think, like you said, that we sometimes do turn a blind eye to it, just because we're so focused on us, us.
Mhm.
But like, if you ever get into the mindset where it's like, today I'm trying to make somebody else's life better. Like, I'm really trying to bless somebody today. Like, or this week. It ain't got to be daily. Like, if you're starting off like, hey, man, I want to just bless somebody this week. God, just show me the person I need to, whether it's financially, whether, like you said, whether it's just me giving them a word, just encouraging them, a
Right.
hug.
Mm.
You just never know, like, your physical presence can do for somebody.
Mhm.
And so we just got to shift to that mindset. And I'm thankful that Shows Custom Creations has that mindset to be able to give back to the community,
Yes.
to want to be known as a business that is very professional, but also has a heart for the community, and it's not all about the bottom line, as
Right.
people would say. And that's like I said, it goes back to who you guys are as people, though. You know what I'm saying? Like 9 times out of 10, who you are as a person is how you're gonna run your business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if your motive is off as a person, then of course your motive is gonna be off when you're running your business.
Right.
So that's just a testament to you guys, and I want to encourage you guys to keep it going.
Thank you.
I'll be shouting. I'll be giving y'all shout outs. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate that.
And I ain't gonna take advantage of our friendship. So you kind of talked about a little bit on marketing. So how do you guys market your business to not just marketing, but how you diversify your marketing?
Yeah. We've mainly been honestly just using social media at this point. You know, we use social media. We've been in the beginning, we heavily did a lot of vendor events, you know, to be able to get just our name out there. I did a lot of them probably in the first 6 months or so. We've backed down on that a little bit just because our name is out there, and obviously we're a lot busier now. But vendor events, social media, you know, sponsorships, you know, because you can give, you know, $25, $50, $100 here or there, and people put your name on stuff. You know, just reaching out to people, be like, you know, hey, you know, you need some, or, you know, and most of the time your work speaks for yourself, you know, for itself. And, you know, oh, where did you get those? Oh, so, you know, Shows Custom Creation makes them. Oh, you know, let me follow them on Facebook. You know, we did the traditional, you know, giveaways, and we still do those on Facebook, you know, to get, you know, people visible on our Facebook, because almost all of our marketing is on Facebook, you know, showing products and stuff. But, yeah, I mean, that's probably the hardest thing, just because it does take a lot of time. And if you really want your business to launch, that does take money.
Okay.
So that's probably been the biggest, I guess, hurdle or thing that I feel like we don't do the best at, but it's timely and it's costly. And I just hope that, you know, word of mouth is really what we rely on for marketing.
Well,
Yeah, that's helped us.
That's cool right there. Word of mouth is, they say, it's the best way.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever have you ever considered, or have you ever paid someone to run Facebook ads for you?
Well, we've done automated ones through Facebook. I have not paid a marketing, you know, person or director. I mean, that possibly could be something we do in the future as we grow, but haven't at this point.
Okay, I was just wondering, because we're trying to grow our podcast, and I was wondering if you got somebody that's helping y'all grow. Hey, throw them our way.
Yeah.
But so word of mouth, Facebook. What about, you guys have a TikTok or a IG?
We do. I'm not as heavy on it as because I can get trapped in the TikTok world. So I try not to get on there too much, because I feel like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I laugh a lot on TikTok, but I could be sitting there and be like, oh my gosh, 3 hours later, I'm still scrolling on TikToks.
Totally distracted.
You know, right.
Totally distracted. It happens to the best of them.
Yeah.
So that means we can't get mad at our kids when they be when we tell them to do something, then they walk by the TV. Oh, hold up.
Because we told them.
When they walk by the TV and they stop and they stand at the TV, and it's like, dude, what I told you to do? And it's like, oh, my bad, I got distracted.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
I do get distracted.
Is it disobedience?
No.
Or is that distraction?
It's distraction.
Okay, so remember that. Remember that. Man, that was just spot on. So you said marketing is one of the ones you feel like in the future you guys will have to invest more money, because it's costly.
Right.
Okay. So right now, do you guys even have a marketing budget, or you just kind of it's just free? Everything you're doing right now is just free?
Pretty much everything we do is free.
Okay.
I mean, unless you count, you know, when you're doing sponsorships or signs or anything like that. But yeah, everything that we're doing right now on social media is pretty much free.
Okay. So what strategies do you guys use for excellent customer service and handling feedback? How do you guys handle your customer service and handling feedback?
It's that I think you touched on that earlier, that we really try to have excellent customer service. You know, you do have difficult people sometimes, but, you know, just like I hope, you know, that people give me grace when either I've messed up or orders are running behind because of so-and-so, you know, I hope that that same grace, I try to extend that same grace on other people, and hope that it is reciprocated on me when, you know, the circumstances is needed.
So you mean to tell me you mess up?
Sometimes, yeah. Every,
I never heard that one.
I mean,
I know.
not too often, but every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
But I think and we've talked about this several times, is that, there are a lot of things, not just in our business, but just in business in general, that are beyond your control. Like I can order something, a shipment of shirts, and like when the ice storm hit, and, usually I try to get items out to people in less than a week. And that's considering the time that it takes for me to order something, for it to come in, for me to print it, for me to produce it or sew it or whatever.
Yeah. You saw
a little bit. Embroidery and sewing. Yeah. So, to do whatever somebody needs me to do, well, because we are a small business, we don't keep a ton of inventory on hand. So almost everything is ordered. Well, like when the ice storm hit, I didn't get a shipment of anything for like 12 days.
Wow.
And then I'm behind. So that put me like 2 to 3 weeks behind. And the biggest thing, that was like, just communicate that to people.
Yeah,
and if you
communicate.
if you communicate up front and be like, hey, Miss Jones, like, I'm so sorry, that I hope to have your shirt out in a week, but it's, we're at 2.5 weeks and you still don't have it. This is, the reason why, like, and 99.9% of the time people come back, oh, thank you. It's no big deal. Thank you so much for letting me know, and if I mess up something royally, like, I'm going to give you a refund, like, I'm just not that type of person, but, to keep the money when I mess up something, but that hasn't happened very often, but just be, like you said, over communicate to people if there's an issue. I've had instances, and this is my own fault, where somebody has, text me something or Facebooked me something, they want this, and then it wasn't right. Well, I assumed that's what you wanted, and I should have dug a little bit deeper, and I'm going to turn around and fix it because that was my fault. But I learned lessons from that. Like, if they say they want a red shirt, okay, do you want dark red? Do you want light red? Do you want crimson? Like, because I'll think, okay, what I think is red, okay, I put it on. That's not the red I wanted, so just, and I've learned lessons from that. Like I'm saying, that's not putting the customer at fault at all, but just over communicating, and I'm learning as I go, like, oh, I remember I messed up that order. Let me not mess it up on this one. Let me make sure that I know what they want, before I do it. And so just making sure that people, like, over communicating, maybe making sure that people know if I messed up something, I'm going to fix it. And it's going to be at my cost. I'm never going to ask you to pay for something that that I messed up. And just communication, like, is key. Just communication, and when people are like we said before, when people are happy with you, they're gonna, even if you've messed up, if you've communicated that and you've made it right, 99% of the time, they're going to still recommend you.
That's true. That's true. Do you guys, how does the pickup work? Do they come to a certain location? Do you deliver? Is it mailed out? How does that work?
We mail a lot of stuff, because we also have an Etsy store, so we mail all over the United States. I've had one international order before, and I remember being like, I'm international.
That's what's up.
I'm so excited about that. We mail some stuff, but most of it is local pickup. We do share a warehouse with another company, Kingdom Print Solutions. So we have that where people can come and pick up. But so most everything is, obviously, most everything is pick up, but we do ship out. And
what about help? Do you do everything yourself? Do you have help? People come in at certain times, or you have staff? How does that look?
I do 99% of the work myself.
Okay.
I do have sometimes that people will come, help if I'm just drowning, because there are other employees there on the Kingdom Print Solution side.
Yeah.
That will help, but right now it's just me. I hope to get to the point where we can, have somebody help. But I'm also a little bit of a control freak in the sense that, like, for quality control, like, I need to lay my eyes on everything, and I want to make sure it's right before I send it to somebody. So that's going to be a challenge for me when we do go to that point, to trusting somebody else to do the job that I would do.
Well, that's part of growth. So it's gonna come to a point where it's like, how big do I want to be?
Right.
If you get to a point where it's good, I'm making where I want to make. I got the time freedom. I got the right amount of money. Hey, but if you're trying to like really, you're gonna have to let go of that.
But that's satisfactory to the customer too, to know that you have that type of mindset,
Right?
That you're that intentional, and that's how sure you want to make sure it's good quality and it's getting sent out the way it need to, and all that. So
Right.
That just shows the brand of the business.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah.
That Chick-fil-A mentality. Let's go.
My pleasure.
And I also know the guys, the warehouse that you share.
Yeah.
I know them guys.
Oh yeah, they're great people.
Yes,
Absolutely. Yeah. Shout out to Mark and Savannah Potter, Kingdom Print Solutions.
Absolutely.
You need any printing needs in the shows? Hit them up.
Yeah.
Man, we moving right on along. Hey, I just want to thank y'all before we continue.
Absolutely.
Hey, it's been great.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We delivered.
Elevate your mind, elevate your life.
This is the Elevated Chat Room. Hey, we got special guests with us tonight, Demetrice Phillips and Megan Phillips.
Let's go.
Hey, they on point. They on point. Kicking that knowledge. So let me ask you this though. So how do you guys generate like fresh ideas and make your business different?
Well, I think what makes us different is that, like, and when we started, our name is Shoals Custom Creations. Like, we want to be, I mean, of course, we have a lot of generic, shirts and stuff that go out, but we want to be custom. Like, for one time I had a customer that said, my wife's birthday's coming up, and I want you to make me this, like, hip-hop shirt that's got her pictures of her all over it, with, like, her name on it and stuff. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. Okay, yeah, I'll make that. And he wore it, for his wife's birthday, and he was super fly. So, we want to, like, a lot of what we do is, we do shirts for family trips. We do shirts for local businesses. We do shirts for, I've done a lot of the all-star teams in the areas, school shirts, that kind of thing. Like, so, I want you to be like, if you're like, I can't find this on Walmart or Target, or whatever, like, I want you to make a custom shirt for me. Like, I think that's what sets us apart, because, we want, like, whatever you need, I'm going to try to make it happen,
Whatever you dream of, whatever's on your mind, we can put it on a shirt. So.
Well, I know I'll send a picture, be like, hey, Megan, can you do this? And she'd be like, yeah. Like, yeah, I can do that. I was like, well, can I get it soon? She was like, yeah, you can get it soon. But what the amazing thing is, I would literally, like, get a text message that say, hey, your shirt is at the door.
Yeah. No, don't put that out there, because I don't do that very much.
Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. So if
you're in the circle.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm like, hey, I just saying what it is. I mean, that's just excellent customer service. That's going above and beyond.
I do that quite a bit, honestly, for people that I know and, friends of mine. And if I'm going to drive right by your house, I'll stick it in your mailbox.
You clutch. I mean, and that shirt that she was talking about with the faces all on there, that dude, his sons did not like that shirt.
They didn't?
They was like, ew, you got mommy all over your shirt. They was like, you're wearing it out? You're not going into my baseball practice day, are you? Yeah. He was like, it's only for the house, Daddy.
Wow.
I'm like, you don't want me to express my love for your mama?
Public.
They was like, nah, we good on that.
Well, actually, I asked Demetrice, I said, do you want me to make you a shirt like I'm making Zoe with my face all over it? And he was like, no. And I was like, what? You wouldn't wear it? He said, I wear it around the house.
Yeah.
Listen, we had seen it on like either Instagram or a TikTok, and it was funny. So she had sent it to me, and I was like, yeah, it was, matter of fact, it's this guy, he'd be on Instagram, is WET, We In It Together.
Mhm.
And he does little skits. And he put her face on one of his shirts. He came in there. He's like, yeah, now when I go out, you know what I'm saying? Everybody know I belong to you.
Yeah.
So and that's how Brittany is. She was like, yeah, everybody gotta know. So I was like, bet this
There you
one
go.
for your birthday. Hey, it was,
What you
and
had.
it looked just like what I
So
wanted.
you was the guy.
I was the guy.
That was good.
I was the guy.
She wasn't gonna put it out there like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Hey, and it was a hit too. It was a hit.
cute.
Except the boys, like I said, they
Hey.
were tricky.
When you said that about the boys, I'm sitting there thinking like, dang, that sound like Austin. I'm sitting there thinking,
It was them. It was definitely them. Is there anything else you guys would like to say about what we talked about tonight? Because we pretty much about to wrap it up. Y'all
Well,
done a great job.
Good.
we enjoyed it. Thank you for inviting
Appreciate
us.
y'all having.
Well, let them know once again the name of your business, where they can find you at. Any last plug for that?
It's Shoals Custom Creations. You can find us on Facebook under Shoals Custom Creations. And we also have a website, shoalscustomcreations.com. Our email is shoalscustomcreations@gmail.com. And we're located in the Shoals, and we ship, deliver, whatever you need. Hit us up.
Hey, close us out, my guy. Oh, this boyhood eating. This is what I'm trying to tell. This boy right here be eating the whole show. Like he's slick now. He's slick because
He's
what he
so
do?
delicate with it, too. He's like,
When it's me and him, he can't eat like that. But when we get a guest on, he be like, yo, so you just go ahead and do it. We get the camera on y'all. Like he's
Right.
slick with it. I'm surprised he ain't 300, 400 pounds. You ready to close it out now?
I'm ready to close it out. Thank y'all again, for real.
Absolutely.
It's been awesome.
Absolutely.
Definitely appreciate it. Definitely
Everyone,
appreciate
we
it.
challenge you to go and to patronize with them because, like I say, they have a great store, great customer service. They give back to the community. Like, what else do you need? And they got great service again, like I said. So, what else do you need? Again, thank you again for being with us.
you're welcome.
Thank you.
This is the Elevated Chat Room. This is your next episode. Till next time, elevate your mind, elevate your life. Peace.
We out.
Peace.